Almost at the foot of the magnificent Montserrat mountain range, there is a region near Barcelona where one of the most consumed drinks in Catalonia is produced, and which is also a very easy day trip for anyone interested in wine and beautiful places. Come and discover the land of Cava. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hello, I am Tony Galvez from Road Trip Spain and Portugal, where we help you plan the perfect trip with practical information and insider tips. A beautiful and easy day trip we're definitely in. Today we're going on a trip to the land where Cava is made, and to give you a bit of background before we get going, let's talk a little about Cava. Cava is the name given to the famous sparkling wine that is mainly, but not exclusively, produced in Catalonia. Until the 1970s, this wine was known as Champagne, but in order to comply with the legislation protecting geographical names in 1972, the term Cava began to be used. Until then, Cava, or Cave in Catalan, was the term used to refer to the place where champagne was made. There are no major differences between French champagne and Spanish Cava. The way it is made, the technique used is identical. The only differences being the place where it is made and the grapes used. The three most important grape varieties authorized for the production of Cava are Macabeo, Xarel·lo and Parellada. In addition to these three, 6 other varieties can be used. Cava has a regulatory council that protects the vineyards of the denomination of origin Cava, which curiously is not a regional designation of origin, as it includes the Cava produced in several regions of Spain that you will now see on the screen. There is Cava produced in a specific region of Extremadura, in another one in the Levante, in several more points of La Rioja and Aragon in the Ebro Valley, and finally in several points of Catalonia. The distribution of production is very uneven. 95% of Cava is produced in Catalonia, especially in the Penedès wine region, where, in addition to Cava, other varieties of wine are produced, especially white wines. The region of Penedès lies to the west of the city of Barcelona and is a fairly extensive region, stretching from the Mediterranean coast to well inland in the province of Barcelona. The land of Catalan Cava has 2 main urban centers, the towns of Vilafranca del Penedès and Sant Sadurní d'Anoia, and it is in Sant Sadurní d'Anoia where we are going to make our tour, as it is home to some of the most traditional Cava producers, as well as being the place where Cava production began in 1872. Sant Sadurní d'Anoia is 50 kilometers from the center of Barcelona. You can get there by car, either your own or rented, but we don't recommend this option because visiting wineries and driving are 2 activities that don't go very well together. You can go by bus with the company Hilsa, which takes 40 minutes to get to Sant Sadurní, depending on Barcelona traffic. The bus leaves from 229 Urgell Street. We will put a link in the description of the video, but be aware it's not easy to check the cost of the service on the company's website. Or you can do as we did and go by train, the option we like the best. There is a train that goes directly from Barcelona to Sant Sadurní d'Anoia, and here are all the details. The train you are going to take belongs to the Rodalies de Catalunya network, trains that run inside Catalonia. The line that goes to Sant Sadurní is the R4, which runs between Manresa and Sant Vicenç de Calders. You must take the train in the direction of Sant Vicenç de Calders. On its route through the center of Barcelona, you can take the R4 at Arc de Triomf, Plaza de Catalunya or Sants stations. Whichever one suits you best, the fare will be the same. Look for an orange machine at the station to buy your ticket. And we have to apologize as we didn't record the English language screen when preparing the video, but there is one. Just be aware you can choose the English version. However, we are glad to say the purchase is quite straightforward. We are going to show you the Spanish screens. On the home screen, type the name Sant Sadurní d'Anoia until the station appears on the screen. Select it and press Confirmar, confirm, at the bottom of the screen. On the next screen, you will see the different tickets you can buy for this journey. Choose Adulto Ida y Regreso, or the closest thing to Adult Return on the English screen. As there are 2 of us, we choose 2 passengers on the next screen and press confirm at the bottom. Now all you have to do is pay either in coins or by credit card. Once you have paid, don't forget to pick up the tickets from the bottom of the machine. Before arriving at the platforms, validate your ticket at the station entrance barriers as shown in the pictures. On the screen with the next departures, look for the R4 to Vilafranca del Penedès or San Vicente de Calders. The screen we are showing now does not yet show on which platform the train will pass, so wait a little longer. On the platform, while you are waiting for the train to arrive, you have to make sure that it goes to Saint-Sadurní because there are some R4 trains that make a shorter journey. To be absolutely sure, look for the name of Saint-Sadurní d'Anoia station on the platform screens. Once on the train, sit wherever you want, there are no seat reservations, and enjoy the journey, which lasts approximately 55 minutes. The screens inside the train will inform you of its arrival at Saint-Sadurní d'Anoia station. Saint-Sadurní station is opposite one of the town's most famous wineries, Freixenet, but a little way from the center. Let's take a quick look at the map to quickly understand the location of Saint-Sadurní d'Anoia's main attractions. These are the two most famous and important cava producers, Freixenet and Codorniu, the Cava Center, and the Simon Cole Chocolate Factory. On your trip to Saint-Sadurní d'Anoia, you can choose to visit all or some of the attractions we have just mentioned. And if you are a fan of wine tourism, you should know that there are many other wineries in the town. We're going to talk about each of these places, and in the final part of the video we will talk about possible combinations of visits on the same day. Freixenet is the easiest visit because, as we have already mentioned, it is right next to the train station. If you want to make a quick round trip to visit just one winery, this could be an option. In the description of the video we will put a link so that you can book your visit at the times available for the date of your trip. We visited Freixenet several years ago, and although we found it quite interesting, we think the visit to Codorniu is even better. In our opinion, the visit to Codorniu is the most interesting and the one we would recommend you to do if you have time for a nice walk. Codorniu is on the outskirts of Saint-Sadurní and you will have to walk to get there. A very pleasant walk of 20-25 minutes. Put the address of Codorniu in your map application and follow the route. If you cannot walk, try taking a taxi from the station exit. Along the way you will pass through the center of Saint-Sadurní d'Anoia and see several very traditional cellars. Closer to Codorniu, you will pass by some of the brand's oldest vineyards. What makes a visit to Codorniu even more special is the architecture of the winery, which was declared a national monument in 1976. Back in 1985, the brand's owners commissioned the modernist architect Josep Puig i Cadafalch to design and build the cellars. Puig i Cadafalch was one of the most important modernist architects of the time, and the result is splendid. The guided tour begins in the Sala Puig i Cadafalch, a space with beautiful arches. It continues through the Codorniu Gardens on the way to the cavas, the cellars where the sparkling wines are made. Explanations are given at all times about how the cavas are made, and there is also the opportunity to taste the aroma of the different grape varieties through an interactive display. Then it is time to go down to the cellars deep in the earth where the magic of cava making takes place. There are a few stairs leading down into the cellars. Here the explanations continue, and then everyone boards a little train that takes you on a tour of the endless cellars. The final part of the visit includes a tasting of several Codorniu cavas, accompanied by cheese and bread, and an explanation from the guide about the wines being tasted. A delicious way to end the visit, which lasts approximately 75 minutes. We're going to leave you a link in the description of the video so you can book a visit to Codorniu. The third place you should visit is the Cava Center, an excellent interpretation center. Here you will learn about the history of cava in the region. The visit also includes a cava tasting. And here we have to confess that the fact that we had already been to the Cava Center in the past led us to make a mistake. The Cava Center is an interpretation center, and in the past you would arrive, pay your entrance fee and visit it. Well, that is no longer the case. Now visits must be booked in advance by phone or email. If you arrive while the center is open, but you haven't booked your visit, you won't be able to see it, which is what happened to us. We understand the need for wineries to organize visits, but an interpretation center inside a tourist office. We are always in favor of making life easier for tourists, and in this case the center failed us by demanding a previous reservation. In any case, we highly recommend the visit, and we have left a link in the description of the video so that you can check the details. The fourth place of interest in San Sadurní is the Simon Coll Chocolate Factory. If you go with children or want to combine cava and chocolate, delicious, it can be a very pleasant visit. The factory is very close to the Cava Center in the heart of San Sadurní. We visited it before the pandemic and liked it very much. It includes a chocolate tasting at the end. We don't think it's a must visit in San Sadurní, but if you want to add a bit of sweetness to your visit, there it is. We've put a link in the description of the video so you can also check opening times and make a reservation. As well as visiting the wineries, the Cava Center and the chocolate factory, it is very pleasant to stroll around the center of San Sadurní, admiring its modernist flavored buildings and the wine cellars that can be found in every corner of the town. You must be asking yourself, how can this day trip be organized? There are several possible options. Let's take a look at the map to see some of the combinations we suggest. The first one would be to simply arrive in San Sadurní, visit Freixenet and return to Barcelona. The second would be to arrive in San Sadurní, visit Codorniu, have lunch in the center and visit the Cava Center in the afternoon before returning to Barcelona. And a third option would be to visit Codorniu, have lunch, visit the Cava Center and finish with a visit to the chocolate factory. You could also include a visit to a smaller winery, such as Cavas Gramona, for those more interested in wine tourism. And while we're on the subject of lunch, here are two suggestions of very nice restaurants in the center of San Sadurní. They are Cal Tecus and Cal Blai, not far from the Cava Center. We have eaten at both on different visits to San Sadurní and have been very satisfied. They specialize in typical local recipes. Due to the more expensive ingredients they serve, the price level of the Menú del Día, the set menu, is higher than what it is usual for an economic menu, somewhere between 20 and 30 euros. After the last visit of the day, it will be time to walk back to the train station. And that was a summary of our proposed day trip to the land of Cava. If you're interested in wine or things typically Catalan, it is a very easy and delicious day trip. If you need help organizing your time in San Sadurní, use the commentary box to ask. You know we will be delighted to help. Now you will see on the screen the video in which we present the main day trips from Barcelona. You will see that there are many and very interesting. You will not have time to spare in Barcelona. We are going to that video where we are already waiting for you.